Guys, your Fortrex guy, and this is my new machine. It's a 2015 Honda Rubicon 500. So I picked this thing up for a good deal. It's a DCT, so it's dual clutch, it's electric shift. I know it's not a foot shift, it's stupid, I hate it, but it is what it is. I got a really good deal with it, so I got the electric shift. I just want to go through some of the electrical with you, what I did. So the first problems I found with this bike, because it's used and it was abused, I think it might have been sunk once, to be honest with you. This was jammed full of mud here. So what I did was I opened up, I moved all the wiring out of the way, and I opened up the hole down here, as you can see there, to 3/4. So it was like 5/16 to begin with, and nothing was draining out. The mud was getting built up there. It was really bad. All the electrical was sitting in mud, so I opened up that hole. So it's something you guys can maybe do or look into. Another thing too, I also drilled the battery box holes as well. Open them up as well. I moved all this wiring. It was down low before and they're covered in mud, so what I did was I moved them up as high as I could, zip tied everything up there, electric grease everything. You know, go crazy with the electric grease. So that's the back anyways. Move up here to where the relays are. So up here by the gas tank where all my relays are, I removed that whole plastic piece that was here, and I put a Pelican case in. Or no, it's not a Pelican, it's a knockoff. It's a waterproof case. But anyways, I threw that in. I drilled a hole back here to put my wiring in. I obviously went crazy on the caulking here. Sealed it up, zip tied it up here. So here is where I cut the old piece here. This was all full of relays. Water could easily get in. I know guys were having problems with the relays here, so I put them in a waterproof case. Check out like Mud Puppy and Project Ajax. That's what they did, so they didn't have any issues. I had to leave this piece down here. I had to cut it up a bit so it would fit underneath this box. It just clips in there, and stator for your spark plug is right there, so I just attached that back. Left the top piece here because it holds your computer as well, right? Left that. Obviously went crazy on the electric grease. So how I electric grease these, just so you guys know, is obviously I put a little bit on the prongs, and then what I do is on the male end I put a little dab going around the whole outside of it, and then when you put the female end in, it kind of squeezes all that grease and seals it up a little bit, helps you just seal up your electrical a little bit more. Down here I moved this wire. It was down here somewhere, so I just moved it up higher, got it out of the way, zip tied that up. Another thing too, this piece here, I don't know if you guys can see, this piece here, it was down into, it was like attached to the skid plate, so I took that off. I ran it up as high as possible. Same with that plug there too as well. It was down a little bit lower, so I ran that up. Electric grease everything on the motor best I could. Yeah, every connection on this bike's been pulled apart, cleaned, and electric greased. Up here, you guys will like this up here. So up here on the front of the bike, it's kind of a mess now. I moved, this is my steering electrical box. This was down by the fender. So this box was down here on the fender, right? There's the brackets and all that. It was caked when I pulled it apart, and I mean caked. The plugs, the first plug I pulled out was just mud got onto the prongs and everything, so it was a really bad spot for it. I didn't like it. It was just caked in mud. So I cleaned all the electrical connections, put a nice seal, did the electric grease, did a nice seal around the male end like I said, so it seals it up better. I moved it up here now. So up here before, it was all these electrical connections here were all clipped in on this plastic piece going across. I removed all the clips and I removed all the wiring out of the way. I was able to slip this guy here. It took me a while to find a home for him, but I was able to get him slipped down into here, and then I was able to run a zip tie, you guys can see there, around it. So there's a hole right there, and you can't see that one, but that's for the existing clips, and it's just perfect spacing. So I zip tie that there, and it's pretty sturdy there. Moved all the wiring that was down there before. It was I didn't have enough room here, so I had to move it up higher out of the way. So we moved it all up higher. Had to Took me some time to really get this all figured out and into a nice home, because of the steering and everything like that. You don't want any rubbing going on. Another thing I had to do with the computer box was I had to cut a couple zip ties that was holding the wiring. I had to take the wiring and move it to a location over here, so I had more play in the wire to put it into the location I want it. So that was handy. That helped me out, so that's something you should think about. Just cut the wire if you're having a hard time finding a home for it. Or not the wire, the zip ties holding the wire. Don't cut the wire, that'd be a mess. So that's another thing I had to do to get it up here. So like I said, it took me some time to get everything up here out of the way. Dielectric greased. Went through the whole bike. The front, I wasn't able to move too much here in the front high enough. I went through and dielectric greased everything. Over here, I don't know if you guys can see. So right there, this clip here, that is your rollover sensor. I watched a Mud Puppy video. He was talking about this. He pulled it apart and he put I think he put some silicone there to hold it in place so it didn't go off him. So I did the same thing. It was a pain in the ass to pull it apart. It's like a wheel. It's a little pizza wheel. You just pull it off. There's two washers. Pull it off. I put a little dab of caulking down below, and then I put everything back. I let it sit for 24 hours, then I threw it back together. So that way, now when I'm going sideways through a hole or something like that, you know, it won't shut off on me. And if I do roll it over, I'll just shut it off myself. It's not hard. The only thing I got left to do is doing my axles here. I'm gonna have to pull the axles out and just put a little grease on the cup there, seal up in the diff, front and rear. Gotta do that, and my drive shaft boots, so I'll throw a little bit of grease in there too. So that's what I got left. So guys, that's the electrical on my bike. I hope this helped you out, and if I missed anything, please leave a comment below. Let me know what I missed. I'll be more than happy to get it. Like, you know, your spark plug, I understand and talk about that, but lots of dielectric grease on your spark plug. But anyways, yeah, if I missed anything, please leave a comment below, and I'll get right on that. I want to fix this problem before I have it.